y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. Alrighty, so I hate this week's topic. I really do. This is the worst idea I've ever had. I hate it. We're going to talk about rejection, my friends, and frankly, I really suck at it. Honestly, it is my kryptonite for sure. As a recruiter, I have to make a fair amount of rejection calls, and I do not like them. But it is a big part of the job, sadly, and something that I just have to do. But what I want to talk about this week, forget about me. I want to talk about how candidates can navigate that. There's a lot of emotion that comes with it, and it sucks. I don't like it. I don't like being rejected. I don't like delivering the message. But here's the thing. Let me just power through this because this is important. Rejection in the job search is rarely, if ever, personal. Okay? We have various stages that a rejection can happen. So one can be, obviously at the application stage, we're looking at your resume, we're looking at information you provided us, we're deciding it's not a fit, we're rejecting and moving on. It could happen at the interview stage. So whether that's an initial phone screen, whether that's like a full-on on-site interview where you're meeting 5 or 6 people or whatever, we're collecting data through that process and we're using that data to determine, does this person have the right mix of technical strengths, superpowers, all that kind of stuff that helps solve the problem that this business has, okay? So again, the data collection process through interview questions, perhaps through assessments, things like that, is giving us indications of whether or not this person would be successful and hopefully happy if we were to offer them this position. I can count on one hand, maybe two, not more than 2. I can count on 2 hands how many times I've had to reject someone, and I'm talking over the last 22 years that I've been in recruiting. The number of times that I've rejected someone because we didn't like them. It's not personal. And in those rare circumstances, and I mean rare, like it came down to like this person was really shitty to the receptionist. This person, we knew, somebody knew them from a previous company where they were like fired for embezzlement or something. Like, I mean, these have been like seriously a handful, small number of very specific instances that maybe did not directly correlate to the interview data. It is literally that rare. 22 years, thousands of interviews, thousands of offers, thousands of hires, literally less than 10 times it's been, that person, we just don't like them. It just doesn't happen. What does happen? We are trying to uncover data points and learn things about you that tell us, like I just said, does this person have the skills, abilities, and technical superpowers that maps to the problem that we're trying to solve? Or role-related superpowers if you're not technical. Sometimes that answer is yes, and we want to make an offer. Sometimes it's no. And it's frustrating when we can't give you feedback because you don't know what missed. You don't know what to work on if you want to try again. You don't know, where to go from here. You just know that the answer was no, and you don't know why. And that stinks. Here's what I want you to take away from this week's video. It's not about you. It's about the data, the information, the knowledge points, and how those things map to what we have identified the role requires or the company requires. So when you get that reject call, it is a not right now for this role and company. It does not mean that you're not a great accountant or teacher or engineer or whatever it is you are. You are probably amazing. It's just not what this particular role, team, and company needed. Now, Y'all know I am the self-appointed queen of bad analogies. Here's another way to look at it. Manager opens a rec. I have this problem to solve. I need a pie. I need a tasty fruit pie that has a little bit of sweetness, maybe a little tart, that I can serve at a family dinner. All right, great. Let's talk about what that pie needs to look like. What's the flavor? What's the look? What's that? Blueberry? Nah, I don't like blueberry. Blueberry stains my teeth. Doesn't really go with the rest of the meal. That's not what I want. Peach? No, that's more of a cobbler. I definitely need a pie with a crust on the bottom and the top. Apple. Yes, I need an apple pie. That is the recipe I'm working on. That is going to solve my family dinner dessert problem. Bring me an apple pie. Okay? So part of bringing you or creating an apple pie is finding the right apple. Now, for those of you who are bakers, you probably already know this. There's a lot of really tasty apples out there. Fuji's are my favorite. I love Fuji apples. When they're cold and crispy and I spread a little peanut butter on them. Oh, they're so good. I think it might be dinner time. I'm really hungry. But here's the thing. A Fuji apple does not bake very well. Y'all want a Granny Smith for your baking, all right? That apple pie, even though we can try a bunch of different apples and we can taste apples or interview apples, we're going to identify that some of those don't work in this recipe, and what we really need is this Granny Smith, and that's who we're going to make the offer to. That's a terrible analogy. But y'all see where I'm going with this? It doesn't mean that the Fuji's and the Honeycrisp and the, these other kinds of apples are not delicious. They are. They just don't belong in an apple pie. Fruit salad maybe, but not the pie. You got me? So that's the thing I want y'all to think about. It is not a reflection on your tastiness as an apple. It is a reflection that the recipe calls for a certain thing, and the Granny Smith is it. Okay? So that's the kind of the first big idea. It's not personal. Second thing, it's not forever. Okay? So what do I mean by that? Here's what I want you to think about. This is my own personal, this is what happened to me. Okay? This was my career journey. Probably 11 or 12 years ago, I was contacted by my current company. And they asked me if I was interested in a corporate recruiting role. I had not done corporate recruiting at that stage. I had been an agency for a long time, was currently with the state of Washington. And I said, yeah, that would be amazing. Are you kidding? I'd love to work for you. And yeah, great. Hiring manager reviewed my resume and the recruiter notes from when I talked to her and rejected me. And I was gutted, y'all, because I knew I was a good recruiter. I really felt like I could do this job. But they had their recipe. They knew what they needed. They were scouring for, ingredients and taste testing things, I guess. Oh, this analogy is going sideways. But I was not the right kind of apple for their pie. Okay? So I got rejected. Sucks. Fast forward a few years, I get another call. Different recruiting role, different team, different recipe. Actually go through the interview process, got an offer, which I then turned down because I had another recipe that I was interested in, and that took me to Microsoft. So I actually got an offer from both companies at the same time, and I decided to go to Microsoft, just reasons, which I am happy with that choice. But it wasn't the right time. So me rejecting them wasn't because it wasn't a great opportunity. I just had something else that was better for me. Okay? Fast forward again, a few more years, they call me up again. Different team, different role, right? I go to the interview. They wanted me a few years ago. Why wouldn't I get an offer this time? I got this. I know what I'm doing. No, I did not. I was rejected after a full day, all day interview. The whole, everything. That one stung a little bit. Fast forward again. Now this is the 4th time that I've engaged with this company. Happy hour with a girlfriend. She's just raving about this amazing job and how much she loves this program and loves her boss and everything is so great. And I said, wow, I want to be a part of that. So I threw my hat in the ring for the 4th time. And that conversation led to another conversation, which led to an interview, which finally led to the offer that I had been waiting for 12 years. Okay? It was a big deal, y'all. All right? It was exciting. I was happy to have the right outcome. Everything was like exactly what I wanted and where I needed to be. 12 years, 4 conversations, 4 different attempts. Finally, I was the right apple for the right recipe. If I had internalized those early rejections, and if I had a chip on my shoulder or said, oh, that company sucks, they don't deserve me, I may not have taken the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th chances. And I'm really, really glad I did. So that, my friends, is what I will leave you with. Rejection sucks and it stings, and I don't like it any more than you do. But remember, it is not personal and it is not forever. Okay? I hope that helps y'all. Of course, always happy to have a deeper conversation in the comments. Send me an email, amy@recruitinginyogapants.com. And we will see you next week.